Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Omega Live. It is so good to see you all coming online right now to be with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm JJ, Woman Without Borders, and it is March 31st, 2020. Yes, it's a Tuesday. It is the last day in the month, people. Can you believe it? The month is done. And how many of us want to say hallelujah? Because we are happy that it is done. Because wow, what a month, huh? What a month it has been, huh? So, oh my God, I heard persons, I don't know if you heard it, but there was this jingle going around on social media about January. Oh my, people were just so like, oh, get over it already. We want January to go. We've had enough of January. There was just too much going on with January. And then came February. It wasn't so bad. It was bad, but not so bad. But then came March. Man, and what a month. Huh? Oh God, I know it was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. So yeah, um, it came, and today the last day, and I know I for one I am really excited that it is the last day of the month, hoping that April will be better. We have to live in hope, right? Because if we do not have hope, we would be men most miserable, right? Yes. If people without hope, oh, sorry to say, but they commit suicide, and we're really sorry about that. We don't like that, but that's what happens when you have no hope. It's a lack of hope. It's that hopelessness when you feel that what's the point of going on, right? That's why you take your life. But persons who have hope, we know that no matter how hard things are, no matter how rough life is, right? There's always going to be a better tomorrow. The song said the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow, right? The sun is going to come out. There is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And I know, believe me, I know there are some long tunnels. Boy, I tell you, those tunnels are so long, right? It seems as if they will never, ever end. I know I've been there, right? Yeah, but guess what? There is light at the end of the tunnel. All beginnings have endings. And the same way you went through the tunnel, and you're in the tunnel even right now as we speak, I promise you that there is going to be an end to the tunnel. There is light at the end of that tunnel. You're going to make it. Yeah? You're going to make it. We're all going to make it. All right? We're going to make it. Okay? I know it's tough. The times are tough. The times are hard. I know. I can tell you. I am feeling it. Guys, not because you see me here. Don't believe I'm not feeling it too. I am feeling it, right? I have creditors calling me even in the midst of COVID-19. Can you imagine? I mean, seriously? Yeah, but yeah. It's just the way of the world, guys. It is tough. It is tough. But we have to have hope, right? That Father God, our Heavenly Father, the creator of the universe, one who made everything, you and me, right? He has a plan for our lives, right? And it's a plan not to harm us, really. His plan is to prosper us, really, yeah. And we know for every action there's a reaction to some of the things that happen. Stop blaming God, people. Yes, He knows about it, and yes, He allows it. Doesn't mean it is His fault, right? Why are you going to be blaming for your own mistakes? Don't do that, yeah? Mm. When you have a child, you love that child, don't you? Hmm? But if you speak to that child and you tell that child, listen to me, John, do not go outside, because if you go out, this is what's going to happen. And if every time you speak to John, John disobeys and he goes outside and he gets, fall into mischief, what's the thing's going to happen, right? You can't stop John from going outside. He's going to go out and he's going to fall into mischief. All you can do as a loving parent is just put a band-aid on that cut, right? Yeah, that's what parents do. And mommy kiss it and say, oh, it's gonna be all right. Yeah, but you had to go and get your own experience, right? Because we're human beings, and that's why we have what is called free will to make our own decisions. And that's why we fight against governments and entities that try to take away our freedom because we were created with that free will spirit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, guys, today I'm so excited. I am so excited because today is a special day. We're having a special show today. We're going to have a guest on the program today. Yes. Okay. I am so excited about that, right? I'm not going to tell you much. It's a surprise, and she's going to come on later on the program and to share with us some information that I think is relevant to us. And I'm really excited about that. Now, guys, your feedback are invaluable. I enjoy the feedback I'm getting about this program. And granted, I'm not seeing many persons commenting in on YouTube live in the comment area. However, I get a lot of feedback on my WhatsApp. And so, yes, I thank you all for your feedback. Again, I'm going to encourage you to comment right here, comment right here, okay? Like, yes, press that thumbs up, okay? Yes, share with your friends, call them and say, yay, come and watch this program because I promise you it's going to be informative, okay? That's the idea behind it. While it's my perspective on most of the things that I speak on, it's what's happening in the world, especially in Jamaica. Yeah, it's the news. Okay, so do join me and do share with your friends and family. Okay, yeah. So I am doing a different thing today. Again, we have been having challenges with Flow and the data, right? But I realize I can't give Flow all the blame. Part of the blame has to go on my computer also, because I'm using this laptop, and I must say, Betsy, I love you. Please be good, okay? But she is an a very limited computer, very, very limited indeed in what she can and cannot do. And the only thing I can do with this laptop actually is go on the internet. That's the only thing. Once I try to do anything else, it crashes. I can't do anything but that. And when I go on the internet, I can only go to one link at a time. I can't have two tabs. If I have two tabs, she crashes. So I realized also that it was not just problems I was having with the Flow data plan. Part of the problems I was also having was with the fact that I'm doing YouTube live on the laptop, and it is really not able at times to carry the feed all the time. So it was not always Flow that was the problem. I realized, yes, they were part of the problem at one time, but part of the problem I'm also having is the fact that I do not have the right kind of equipment using, meaning the right laptop when I'm using is very limited. But it's what I have to use and it's what I'm using. So I give God thanks for it, and I will continue to do the best I can. And what I'm going to do also is try to make the program short so that, when by the time it cuts off, I would have been finished, right? Yeah, these cutoffs are not nice. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, again, thank you and welcome to Omega Live with JJ, Women Without Borders. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do, because again I don't know when I'm gonna get cut off, I'm going to go through the news roundup for today. Okay, I'm going to give you a roundup of the news for today. Now, remember, guys, that it's a lot of things going on. I can't tell you everything that is happening. I tell you most of what is happening, the major things that are happening, and I also, give you a synopsis of, my views on what's happening. Okay, but whatever information I give you, I try for it to be the latest on that subject. So whatever I tell you, like what I'm going to tell you now. Okay, so here is a recap of what's happening in Jamaica and some parts of the world. Effective Wednesday, April 1st until Wednesday, April 8th, Jamaica will be under a nightly curfew from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. in an effort to curtail the COVID-19. According to Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Holness, this means there should be no movement in public spaces, no driving on the road unless you're an essential service, right? There will be the decision was given place for the transportation of nurses across the island, especially those in rural areas. in light of the nightly curfew. According to Carmen Johnson, president of the NAJ, she was speaking to the Jamaica Observer after the press conference. She said, if persons are not able to get to work, it simply means that the workload for those who are able to get to work is going to be increased, right? Your workload will increase because, of course, less workers mean a greater workload. Okay, and then the order for persons who enter the island on or after March 18th to self-quarantine for 14 days and then to contact the Minister of Health and Wellness. This order has been amended. So now it is mandatory for every single person who has come into the island for the past 14 days. They must report to the ministry. According to the Prime Minister, we have been very reluctant to publishing a list because they have a list what they've compiled by getting the data from the immigration and other authorities who have knowledge about everybody who came into the island within the last 14 days. And he is going to be publishing this list if people do not obey. He also says that you could be charged up to $1 million for failing to obey the order. Guys, $1 million is not easy to come by. Comply, okay? Then, according to the Minister of Health, now they have tested 362 tests. Now, of all of those, you know that we have 36 positive cases. Of that 36 positive cases, we now know that there was one health worker. Well, that health worker has been identified by the CMO, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Jacqueline says so. No, she says it's a registered nurse at one of our hospitals. Okay? And then when at the press conference, different persons were able to ask questions. So they asked her about the person who have recovered from the disease. She informed us that there's one patient, patient 5 from St. Anne. She has been they give you were tested negative and were sent home, were later diagnosed with having the virus. So we wish patient 5 all the best. We pray for her and we hope that she will really recover, right? Okay. All right. And then also, according to the Prime Minister, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the markets will be open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You know that the markets were only open before from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Well, now they have extended the hours from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Reason being, they want to prevent the congestion on the markets. I tell you, I haven't been down there recently, but about 2 weeks ago, I went down there. Since we have been, having this issue, I went down there to get some food to stock up in the house. Didn't have much, but it was I said that I was going to pinch it to see how far it will last. So I got my little food. But when I went down there, it was like, hold on a minute, people, didn't you hear that you were supposed to stay home? What are you all doing there? And then I said, okay, well, they're there for the same reason that I was there for, right? Because they wanted food. Okay. So anyways, guys, to be continued, because guess what? I am getting a call, and I believe this is going to be our mystery guest who is going to be coming on, because I told you, we gave her earlier news. Of the courts being closed, right? We told you about the courts being closed until April 20th, right? They said all sittings and hearings will be suspended from March 23rd until April 20th, right? Except for certain instances. Okay, so today I'm gonna have a guest, right, who is a member of the justice system. Yeah, she's a member of the justice system, and she is going to basically speak, right, to us. Not for long, but she's going to give us her views on court matters right now, right? The fact that the court matters have been delayed, she's going to give her views on that. So, I think that was her trying to call me just now. So I'm going to ask her to call me back. If I don't know what happened, why the call got cut off, but if she could call me back, so we could have her on in on Omega Live. Okay. So while she is doing that, to continue with the news, right? So the Jamaica Defense Force, the JDF, they issued an urgent message on their Twitter account. Well, guess what, guys? This one, I must tell you, take it with a grain of salt. And the reason I said that, because I could not, while I believe the account is legit on that Twitter, you know how on Twitter you have the little blue check when an account is legit? They have that. So I believe it is a legitimate account. And I have interacted with that account from time to time in the past, believing that it is the Jamaica Defense Force website, Twitter account. So if it is not, I'm going to apologize in advance, right? It is not my fault, but it is what is out there. So while I do my fact checking, this seems like a reputable source in terms of the fact that the account is legit. So if it is not, I'm going to apologize in advance. But according to that Twitter account, and other media houses, by the way, have been carrying this story, the JDF has issued an urgent message for all soldiers on leave overseas to make contact with their brigade or unit headquarters immediately. That's what it said. Immediately. Right? It was a public service announcement, and it was made on Twitter that all JDF soldiers were to report to their brigade or unit headquarters immediately. Now, guys, when you hear that, that sounds like something up to something, don't it? If it is true, if that is a real PSA, then guys, something is up to something. It's all I can tell you. I will have more for you as we go on. Maybe not today, but as I get more information, I will pass it on, all right? Because I want this program to be very informative for you. So continuing until our guest calls again. A sanitation and cleaning campaign was carried out on the Golden Age home in Vineyard Town, Kingston, and similar campaigns in St. Mary, Clarendon, and Trelawney. According to the Minister of Local Government and Community Development, the Honourable Desmond Mackenzie, this exercise will make the residents much more secure, he says. Yeah, I agree. I used to live in the Vineyard Town here, and I know the Golden Age home, and I must say kudos to all these health workers and the staff, health personnel who are working with the residents of the Golden Age home to make it clean and sanitized and comfortable to please, make it comfortable and welcoming, right? While they cannot receive visitors right now, when they can, we want visitors when they go to find the place looking, yeah, give it a fresh coat of paint too, because the last time I saw it needed a fresh coat of paint. I presume they have done that by now, but I don't know. But I'm only saying, if it has not yet been done, please do it. Thank you. Right? Okay, so that is good news for those residents. I'm sure they're happy with that, and also those who are in St. Mary, right? They too will be happy. Yes, yes, and Trelawney and Clarendon. Okay. Oh, and I must give you this one. So, I can't give you all the international news, but I'll give you these few. So in Grenada, wow, the Grenadian government, they have imposed a mandatory 24-hour curfew. That began yesterday, Monday, March 30th, and it will continue until Sunday, April 6th at 7 p.m. 24 hours, right? According to the Health Minister, Mr. Nicholas Steele, he said Grenada security has been compromised. It has been compromised as it has never been done before, he says, right? He says lives are at stake. He said his life is at stake, his family's life is threatened, his neighbors' lives, right? He says from the halls of the palace to the seat of the prime ministers to the villa slums, COVID-19 has shown that it respects no one, right? COVID-19 has shown that it respects no one, and I have to agree. Okay, Prince Charles got it. Boris, um, oh my God, I forget the English Prime Minister's name, Boris Johnson. Okay, yeah, he has got it. I mean, several persons in high positions have gotten it. It is no respect of persons, people, right? Exactly. The same way God is no respect of persons. Yeah, absolutely. So, as a result of that, they have shut down the country. Yeah, you cannot go outside. You can only go as far as your yard, right? Yeah. Okay, and in Canada, the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases has passed 7,000 with 1,079 recovered and 89 deaths. Well, while I'm not happy that there's even one death, 89 is still not a bad number in comparison with the numbers, right? The total numbers that have been confirmed, right? So we are thankful it's not worse. We pray for them, right? And we trust that we'll have bigger numbers for recoveries going forward. And in the United Kingdom, thousands of NHS workers whose visas were due to expire on or before the 1st of October 2020 will be given automatic 1 year extensions. Yes, they can spend another year in the country so that they can assist in the fight against the coronavirus disease, right? The Home Office announced that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and also in the UK, yeah, there's no, they should put a smile on your face. I know to put a smile on my dad's face, and I know my dad is watching, he's watching this program. So, Dad, listen to this one. An Englishman who is self isolating at the assisted living home where he resides has been recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's oldest man after recently turning 112 years old. He was presented with a certificate from that organization at his home. That is at the assisted living facility. You heard that? 112 years old, they say, is the oldest person alive. So you still have a ways to go, okay, Dad? You have a ways to go. But you'll get there and you can get there. Yes. You're strong. Amen. Okay, so um again, I am still waiting for our guest. Um, it seems we're having some challenges in terms of calling in. I heard the phone ring. It just ring once and it didn't even ring out, so I didn't get a chance to answer it. So, if you could call back again, please. I'm not sure why the phone did not ring out for me to answer, but if you could call again, thank you. Yes. So while we're waiting for our mystery guest to come on, so let me offer my 2 cents on what I just reported to you concerning the news. So, all right. So now let's start now with the curfew first of all. Okay. No. Okay, guys. Here's my take on the old curfew thing. All right. I am not saying that we don't need law and order anywhere. Don't get me wrong. All right. I'm not into anarchy. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is when decisions are made, and I know it's teamwork that makes the dream work, and the Prime Minister has a team of persons who he listens to for advice, right? I know that. But sometimes we know that collectively we can be wrong, right? We know that. Well, I learned that in psychology and sociology, that collectively we can be wrong, okay? And I've also seen it spiritually too. Okay, I have seen that in the spiritual world. Yes, collectively we can be wrong. And I think this is one time when we are, in my opinion. The reason I say that, I'm not saying that people are supposed to be disciplined and we're supposed to stay off the street. And when you're here to stay home, you're supposed to stay home. But I've been listening to the news keenly, and I'm sure you have been too. And what have you heard? We have 36 confirmed cases of the coronavirus disease. 36 cases, right? Of those, we have been told majority of them are what they call imported, meaning that the person flew into the country or came on a ship or somewhere, but they came into the country with that virus, with that disease, right? Then they also say that there are those that are import related, meaning that they did not travel, they never travel history, but they came into contact with someone who did, right? Which is why they quarantined the Bull Bay communities of 8 miles and 9 miles, right? Because of the fact that that first person, that first patient, she went to a funeral in that community. So then, therefore, anyone who contracted it there would be import-related case, right? There are only two, as far as they are saying, because they're speaking the truth. There are only 2 cases, guys, only 2 cases that they do not know how these 2 persons contracted the disease. They are under investigation. That's what that means, really. When they say they're under investigation, they do the contact tracing. They're saying that really we don't really know how. We have no idea how they contacted it because they did not travel to XYZ country. They did not come into contact with someone who traveled to XYZ country, but they have it. How did they get it? That's what they're investigating. There are only 2 cases. It goes to show, and it is saying that all of us, there is no community spread. There is no community spread. So if there's no community spread, why do we need to be under curfew? I just don't get that. That's my point. I don't understand. Mind you, I am not going out there. I'm inside. And I'm not going outside. And if I go outside, I go outside in the daytime. I don't go outside in the nighttime. I'm outside on the road at night, so, right? So it's not that I'm trying to say, oh, I want to go outside. I'm simply saying this is going to affect a lot of good people. A lot of persons who are working to help us is going to affect. Now, think about it. That is the reason, right, why the president for NAJ asked that things be put in place for those health workers who live in the rural areas, who have to go to the hospital and then go home. How are they going to get home? Come on, guys. Have you guys really thought through? My question is always this, when you make decisions with your team and you brainstorm, in that brainstorming, there was not one idea, one person who said something like what I'm speaking. Am I the only one who think these things? Really? I wouldn't think so. I'm sure other people think like me and think what I'm saying. I'm saying, you got to think about these things carefully when you make decisions. And you say you did, and you thought about it carefully and seriously when you made that decision. So what provisions were put in place? What was implemented for these persons who are going to be adversely affected by this? And I noticed how conveniently the BPO sector was left open. And I can understand. You want your money, right? It takes cash to care. I get it. Yeah? With the economy, we can't let the economy collapse. And we definitely can't. Which is why in the first instance, I'm like, why do it in the first instance? For me, it's 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. So it's not effective in terms of curtailing the person we want to curtail. Because the reality is, when I go on the road in the daytime, who is out there? It's the people in the daytime you're supposed to be concerned about who are out there in the daytime walking up and down for no reason at all. Or going to the beach or wherever they're going. Really, who goes to the beach in this time? People? Seriously? Come on. Don't go to the beach at this time. But I digress. The point I'm making, this would be necessary if it had to be done any at all. For the day, not the night. Why do it 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.? What you're doing when you do that, you're making it difficult for the nurses and the doctors, right, and the home health aides and all the other persons in the healthcare sector to get home, and all the first responders, they work on shift. They work on shifts. And when their shift is ended and they need to go home, how do they get home? They don't all drive SUVs like you, How are they going to get home? You can't get them home. You don't have enough buses and things in place at this moment to do that. So people are going to fall through the cracks. Did you think about that? Nobody think about these things. I wonder sometimes, is it me? Am I the only one? Guys, leave a comment, please. Comment on this. Tell me what you think. I want to know. Is it really me? I'm the only one who think like this? I'm the one thinking about people, the common man, what people are going through in their everyday life. When you do these things, you're affecting the everyday people, the everyday workers, okay? People who are trying to help us. You can't do something like that. I don't think it is right. I don't think having a curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. is the answer to the problem at all. I do not see how it is the answer to the problem. And then I see wherein, if it is true that they're calling JDF personnel who are on leave to come in, that it might get even worse. No, let me ask a question, because seriously speaking, you're giving me numbers about probabilities that might come. It not happen. And you're trying to prevent, according to you, what happened in Italy from happening in Jamaica. Not going to happen. I mean, what you're doing, I'm wondering, and I've said it before and I say it again, is there an hidden agenda that we do not know about? Do you have an hidden agenda that we do not know about? I'm going to ask again, do you have an hidden agenda that we do not know about? Because I am telling you, common sense tell me that it don't make sense what you are saying to me right now. It makes no sense, right? There's only 2 cases we don't know about. All the cases are imported and imported related cases. You also have to add, let me add to that. You also have a manifest. You know every single flight. I know, okay? When you go online and a matter of fact, I've been traveling a little while, but last time I traveled and I went online, I had to go online to put in my information online. Okay, I had to put it in. Even though I was going to check in at the counter, I still had to go online onto the website to put in my information. So you guys have information of every single person who come into the island. It's called a manifest, a plane manifest. Every airplane have one, and they have to share it. They share it with Homeland Security in the US. They share it with immigration in Jamaica. They share it all over. It is shared information. It's not private. It is public information. I'm saying, you know, every single person who is into the island when they come off that plane. Not only that, not only that, but also, right? Excuse me a second. Sorry about that, yes. Talking too much, eh? Okay, so as I was saying, with regard to these persons who you said you can't find, not only that you have a manifest with all the names, but guess what? You also have Jamaica Eye, as you call it, right? Jamaica Eye. Remember that lovely CCTV system that you set up? That costs how many millions of dollars upon millions upon dollars? Remember that system that you have? What about it? I was hearing at one time how effective it was. I was hearing oh, everybody was lauding it. What a great system it was. What happened to that system? The system is no longer working. So why is it so hard to find these people? Huh? You are not making any sense to me. Am I the only one that's not making any sense to people? That they're telling me that they can't find. You've been asking for people to come in and to call in, but you know the list that you have. You don't have to publish the list. You can go take that list and go to their house and find them. Yeah. And if when you go, it's a wrong address they gave. Matter of fact, we shouldn't even have to reach there, so because Jamaica I should have been on them. The minute they came off that plane, Jamaican I should have been on them until they reached their destination. That was the purpose, in my opinion, of Jamaica I in this time. Since the disaster risk asset thing was implemented, the disaster risk management act was implemented, then that was the time when you should have been following up on these persons who come off the plane or come off the ship, right? So you should know where these people are. So you go directly to those houses. I have read news, and if you want, I can go dig up some and come and read for it tomorrow. What happened overseas in other countries where the government go and knock on the people's door. Knock. Yes, who is it? Yes, it's so and so, because they know exactly where they are, because they know when they came off the plane or they came off the ship or they came off the whatever. Okay, they can be found. So I am saying, when you are telling me about wanting to implement certain things, I have to ask again, what's your hidden motive behind all this? Because there seems to be something coming. There seems to be some agenda, something coming, all right? And let me say, okay, that don't use it as an opportunity to introduce the national ID system. No, please don't do that, okay? That's not necessary. You have a census list, you have a voters list. You really don't need to do all of that, okay? All right. So that's my 2 cents with regard to that, people. All right. Like, share, comment. Let me know your views on with regard to that. Now, our guest, she not reaching her. I mean, maybe something must have come up, because she was supposed to be on from 12:15, and I'm not seeing her, and it's now 12:34. So I'm hoping that before we finish the program that she will be on. Okay. If not, I'll try to get her on for you tomorrow. I would love to hear her views about the court system and the fact that they have closed the court system. But there are still some cases that are open, right? There are certain cases that are that you can try at this point in time. Okay. All right. Guys, comment please and send me your feedback on the program. Let me know what you think about what I have said and what I'm saying, if you agree or don't agree. Okay. All right. The only other thing that I really want to talk about today, before I close the program, is to basically mention of, or going to a little bit more talk about the market being open until 6 p.m., from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. And the reason being because I'm going to read for you something that I read on the World Health Organization's website, right? Um, and I think it's very important for us, basically to for us to know about this. So I'm going to read it for you in a little while. But before I do that, I just wanted to talk about the fact that, okay, so they have to implement this thing with the market, with the time frame for the market, right? Being open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I understand why they have to do that, because persons recognize that it's only open until 2 p.m. A lot of people are congregating in the marketplace. I know, I've gone there, I've seen it. There is no social distance taking place, and it is hard to have social distancing. I mean, let's be real, guys, let's be real. You go to the market to buy some yams and bananas and dashings and some vegetables and etc. The person is selling the goods. I mean, and I've spoken to. I mean, I was buying two. Everybody who know me know I love mangoes, right? I cannot go to the market and don't buy mangoes. I love mangoes. So I was buying two Julie mangoes from one of the vendors, and so I asked her, I said, how are you managing? Because you're supposed to practice social distancing. So, I mean, are you going to stay over there and throw the money over there to her to give her the money for the mangoes, right? Right. Guys, it's just impossible for you to really practice social distancing when you're at the market. That's the reality. So, and the best thing to do, I think, what the Prime Minister has suggested in terms of extending the hours until 6 p.m. So that way everybody don't have to go at once. So that way now you find that because you have 12 hours in which to do your shopping, you can stagger it, right? Of course, the challenge with that is that I won't know when you're going and you won't know when I'm going. So we might all go at the same time again. So I think what has to be put in place for that, they have to implement something more than just saying it is extended from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., but something needs to be implemented that is going to monitor how many persons actually go into the market within that time frame. Yeah, it's just a thought. But comment. Let me know what you think about this, guys. That's just my opinion on that, right? So with regard to the reason it also come up in terms of me saying it, guys, because you know that the World Health Organization is the governing body that actually tells us. They were the one who actually named this COVID-19 disease, right? COVID-19 means coronavirus disease. You know that, right? It is from the SARS, the SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome 2. This is the iteration 2, right? So they had part 1 in 2003, now this is part 2. So it's SARS 2, the virus, right? That gives us now the coronavirus disease, right? COVID-19, 19 of course being 2019, started last year, 2019. That's where the name comes from, for those who don't know, all right? Okay, so the WHO, as the person, the governing body in the world that basically look out for our health, they have been updating us with regard to the COVID-19 and also what we're supposed to do in order to protect ourselves, right? Giving us some basic tips. Because every day now the scientists are experimenting, they are researching, they're looking and studying and trying to get new information about this disease because it's still an unknown variable for many people. So based on what they have been told from the latest experts in the field, they have issued some advisory for us. So I'm going to finish the program by issuing these advisories to you guys, okay? This is from the World Health Organization. They are encouraging us to protect ourselves. And some of these we already know, but they're giving us the reasons behind it. So sometimes people tell us to do things and you don't want to do it because you're like, why should I do this? Mm? I know I asked someone to do something and she said, why? And I'm like, couldn't you just do it? Why do you have to ask why? It's in our nature to ask why. We don't want to just do things without knowing why we're doing it, right? Okay. So from that standpoint, I'm giving you the tip, but the why with the tip. So we get the tips already. We know the tips, but we don't know the why behind it. So the tips are, of course, wash your hands frequently. Regularly and thoroughly clean your hands with an alcohol-based hand rub or wash them with soap and water. Reason? Washing your hands with soap and water or using alcohol-based hand rub kills the viruses that may be on your hands. So for persons who don't know, let me remind you, a virus is a microbe. A microbe is a living organism, but it is so tiny, only a microscope can see it, right? So a virus is one of those, right? Bacteria, another, right? All of those things. Okay, so that's the reason behind it. On your hands, there are viruses. You can't see them, so you wash your hands with soap and water because that will kill them, right? Maintain social distancing. You must maintain at least 1 meter. They had said 2 meters before, right, which is approximately 6 feet. But now it's gone down to one. They tell you only need to have 1 meter, which is approximately 3 feet, distance between yourself and anyone who is coughing and sneezing. Reason being, when someone coughs or sneezes, they spray small liquid droplets from their nose or mouth, which may contain the virus. Now, if you are too close, you can breathe in the droplets, including the coronavirus disease, the coronavirus, if the person coughing has the disease, the COVID-19, right? So that's why. They say, avoid touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. And we know we've heard that. But here's the reason behind that. Hands touch many surfaces and can pick up viruses. Once contaminated, your hands can transfer the virus to your eyes, your nose, or your mouth. And from there, the virus can enter your body and then it makes you sick. Yeah? Respiratory hygiene. Sorry, practice respiratory hygiene. Make sure you and the people around you follow good respiratory hygiene. This means covering your mouth and your nose with your bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or you sneeze. Then what do? You dispose of the tissue immediately and you wash your hands immediately. Why? Droplets spread virus. By following good respiratory hygiene, you protect the people around you from the viruses such as cold, flu, and COVID-19. Here's another one. If you have fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early. Stay home if you feel unwell. However, if you have a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical attention and call in advance. Of course, you want to do that because they are so overwhelmed right now that you really don't want to go unless you really have to go. So you're going to call in advance. They're going to question you to find out exactly what are the symptoms you're experiencing, and they might even give you some, home remedy if necessary. We're going to follow directions of your local health authority. Reason being, national and local authorities will have the most up-to-date information on the situation in your area. By calling in advance, it will allow your healthcare provider to quickly direct you to the right health facility. This will also protect you and help prevent the spread of viruses and other infections. And you don't want that, right? They say, stay informed and follow advice given by your healthcare provider, right? Follow advice given by your healthcare provider, your national and local provider, your health authority, or your employer on how to protect yourself and others from COVID-19, if your employer knows. Reason being, national and local authorities will have the most up-to-date information on whether COVID-19 is spreading in your area. They are best placed to advise on what people in your area should be doing to protect themselves. Okay? Follow all these guidelines by staying at home, etc. Okay? And you will help to prevent the spread of um, COVID-19. Guys, I say, if it is that you're feeling that you're feeling like feverish, coughing or sneezing, remember, we're in the season of influenza. So it could just be the common cold or flu that you're having. Yes, don't panic. Stay positive, right? I went to the market, and when I came back, I felt a little tickling in my throat. So I went and I gargled with some warm salt water. That was what I did. Okay. And of course, I prayed. I had to pray. I said, Lord, I don't know what that was because I don't know who is out there and what they're touching. And I went and I touched the gate at type 5 because I was passing through. And I said to the security officer, why is the gate not open? Shouldn't it be left open so we don't have to touch it? Okay. And then I got my sanitizer and I sanitized my hands. Okay. Because I'm being wise. I know I'm protected. Okay. But I'm not going to let, because I know that the Lord protects me, because God is no respecter of persons. Right. So the same way He protect me, He protect you. But the same way you catch it, I can catch it too. Because the same God. Okay. So I'm not going to say I'm immune to it. I cannot catch it. It's impossible for me to catch it because God is not going to do it. God is no respecter of persons. And in His grand scheme of things, He might just want me to catch it for whatever reason. You never know. But I'm saying, I know I won't die if I catch it, though. I know I won't die. I shall not die but live. So, but the point is that you have to practice, guys. You have to be wise and practice good hygiene, right? I teach my girls to practice infection control measures all the time, whether COVID-19 or not. It's just a common sense thing to do. You must always wash your hands with soap and water all the time, right? After every task that you do, you wash your hands. It's just common sense, right? And good hygiene to do that. Okay. Um, in addition to that, you wear gloves, and I'm not an advocate of wearing gloves continuously because that defeats the whole purpose. Understand that you can't wear gloves continuously because the germs, the bacteria, the virus are going to be on the gloves. So after each task, you do something and you use the gloves. You take them off and you dispose. It's the reason they're called disposable, because they're supposed to be disposed of immediately after use. Okay? So it means you have to have a whole box of gloves for the day if you're going to be using gloves. That's the point. Otherwise, just use soap and water and wash your hands. And if you don't have running water to do that, because you can't use the basin of water, guy, because this is bacteria. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how people do that. You can't have the basin of water and wash your hands in it. It defeats the purpose. It must be running water. Okay, so if you don't have access to that, use your sanitizer, your hand sanitizer that is alcohol based. Not the ones without alcohol, it makes no sense. It's the one that is alcohol based, right? And you use that to clean up your hands and so forth, all right? And your surfaces, because in the message you wash your hands, guys, and you wash your hands and you go hold the doorknob and the doorknob is dirty, right? Okay, so let me see if it is my guest, guys. Hello, good afternoon. It is my guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our guest in the house, and I'm going to put her on speaker so that you two can hear her. 1 second. Hello? 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 Did I lose her? What is going on here? Did I just lose her? What did I do? Did I do something wrong? Stay with me, guys. Lord, Lord, Lord. I Oh my God. I'm sorry. Please call back. I don't know if I did something or what happened, but I've lost you again. So if you could please call back. Hmm. Huh. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So hoping that she will call back so I can do that. Have that call. Great to have her on. Yes. So I was saying until she calls, I was saying about the practicing infection control measures. I was saying to you, understand, guys, that you cannot wash your hands and then go to hold the door handle or the doorknob or put your hands on some other surface, because what's going to happen is that that excuse me. My number is busy. How can my number be busy, guys? She's saying that my number is busy. That is crazy. What is Flo doing? Can you try again, please? I don't know why it's saying that, but can you try again, please? My number is busy. I'm not on the phone, so why is my number busy? Flo, leave me alone. No, that was Digicel. Digicel, leave me alone. Ah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm not seeing why it is busy. It shouldn't be busy. The call got cut off, but it's still showing busy. Interesting. Let me see what's going on. All right. So we'll figure that out in a second. Oh, here it is. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome, awesome. Hello? Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome to Omega Live. You're welcome. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, my audience, I have with me today Mrs. Amal Martin, Mrs. Amal Dockery-Martin. She is an attorney at law in Montego Bay, Jamaica. And so she is going to talk with us about, she's going to share with us her views on court matters being delayed. Mrs. Martin, can you go ahead, please? My listeners are, my viewers are listening.
All right. Well, my views on matters being delayed, some being delayed as far as October or November, is that, well, it has diminished, some attorneys' abilities to earn an income to go to court because some charge by appearances and some charge by the work that they do in order to prepare for court. So if that is delayed, then funds are delayed. And the whole reason behind the court matters being delayed is because of the threat of COVID-19. So with that threat, a lot of persons have, put on the back burner any, legal matters they may have. So new matters that attorneys would have secured are now delayed as well because persons, interest right now is to stay in and to save and to spend on, stuff that's more important, like, food and other things that they would need to sustain themselves while they're staying in. So it has affected the economy, not just of attorneys, but other persons in the tourism sector. Some hotels are closed, some workers are laid off, so it has affected a vast number of persons.
So do you think it was it was necessary or not?
The delaying court matters?
Yes.
Yes, I think it's necessary. We have to do what we can to protect each other because we just don't know how it will affect us. We hear that some person you may suffer from shortness of breath, other persons, may not have that, some may get it. So it's like you just don't know how your body will react to it. So it's best to stay in, avoid large crowds, avoid persons who appear sick. So it is necessary. And someone had suggested that probably what they could have done is have certain number of matters heard in a day. But to me, that would take up a lot of time because a lot of matters are heard daily in court. So to scale it down to maybe 3 matters for the day, that would be to me, quite onerous on the court and on the resources.
So there's basically nothing that they could have done then, is what you're saying.
I didn't hear that.
So there's basically nothing else that they could have done.
In my view,
yeah.
No, and the health of each other is more important.
Absolutely. So what do you think the public could do? I know, as an attorney, that might not be, a question you can really answer, in depth as an expert on the subject. But in your opinion, what do you think the public can do to kind of mitigate some of this hardship that they're experiencing as a result of this happening?
Well, some professions can do their business online.
Mm-hmm.
And that is consistent with the government's recommendation for non-essential workers to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
But some professions, some jobs like a tour bus driver can't work from home.
Exactly. Exactly so. So what does he do?
Can't work from home.
Mm-hmm. So what do they do? What do these people do?
That's a difficult one. If they have another skill that they could sell online, that could work for them. But if that's the only source of income, then there's not much they can do. The government would have to step in to help them, which they are trying to do, to give them money or allowance that I've heard about. Yeah. But they have not implemented how you can access those funds.
But it's not accessible in any case until next month, as we understand it. It would not be in the first instance, and like you said, secondly, they would have to first, put in place how it will be implemented, which is But then again, also going back to what you said about the tour operators and persons who, whose job cannot be done online. Some of these persons also are not computer literate, so it's not about even going online to do their job, but they just don't know how to use the internet. So what do they do? Because
for they can put themselves at risk, but we don't want that. And if that happens, then it just defeats the purpose of going out there to work to make an income, because you're going to affect others.
Exactly.
And it just defeats the whole purpose.
Yes.
So it's a difficult one. It really is.
Yes.
But we just have to work through it and be patient.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, but I appreciate your view on the matter, and I appreciate you calling into Omega Live to share your views. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Bye for now.
All right.
Thank you. That was Mrs. Amal Dockery-Martin, attorney at law in Montego Bay, sharing her views on court matters being delayed in Jamaica, and giving our general views about the COVID-19 pandemic that is affecting us all. Yeah, she made some good points just now, and that's what we're talking about, guys. That there are persons out there who really and truly, they're not computer literate. They're not even online like I'm online. They're not able to do this because they don't have those skills. What do they do? Let's talk about that some more tomorrow. We've come to the end of our program for today, right? I'm so happy. Thank you, Lord God Almighty. I had no interruptions because of flow or because of my computer, and I was able to complete a show in one sitting. Oh my God, I love it. Thank you, my viewers, for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Join me again tomorrow at midday for another episode of Omega Live. This is JJ, Woman Without Borders, reminding you to stay blessed and to be a blessing. Bye.